available. Okay, so many people have been sending messages and then giving some feedback. It's very useful for them, but that they are not able to take advantage of all the wealth creation opportunities yet because they have experienced some kind of financial setback. They've experienced some kind of financial reversal. So tonight, we'll be talking about bouncing back from financial setback. It's a very important competency, a very important skill to develop in our journey to wealth creation because there's going to be setbacks. There are going to be setbacks. Definitely, there will be setbacks in your financial journey. And so developing the competence to bounce back is very, very important. And then many times you read stories about very wealthy individuals, billionaires, and in their biography, they tell you about how they've also experienced financial losses and then financial difficulties. So I think that I'll be doing you a disservice if I continue to talk about investing, about growing rich, and I don't prepare your mind about the certain setbacks to come. So today I'm going to tell you about my own setbacks, and I'm going to offer a very simple system to bounce back so that for some of you who are struggling to take advantage of all the things we've been sharing about what's going on in the stock market, you can begin to take advantage of that. Then some of you have also said, oh, you want to be part of the Financial Fitness Challenge, which is really where everybody ought to be, but that you don't have the funds right now because you're dealing with financial setback, okay? Good news with that is we run it 3 times, only 3 times in the year. The next one is coming up in June, and I would encourage you to start preparing and saving for that. And then the last one in the year will come up in October. Make sure that you do the Financial Fitness Challenge this year. Actually, this is what to expect during the Financial Fitness Challenge. We will start by evaluating your financial foundation, including the setbacks that we're talking about. And we would look at putting together a portfolio, which will now form the basis for growing your wealth. So you are going to do that practically, and then you will develop a system to make sure that your wealth is not a one-off thing. It's going to be consistent. And then we'll talk about the financial markets because I've discovered that so many people only know the labor market because they have 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 jobs, but they are oblivious to the immense opportunities that exist in the financial markets. And then one of the things I encourage everyone to do, because it truly changed my life, is to set up an everyday business, everyday cash flow, something that allows you to earn money in at least 2 currencies every day. So you are going to set up yours during the Financial Fitness Challenge. You are not just talking about the information, but implementing it. And then importantly, within the challenge, you find people with whom you can hold each other accountable. So we're going to create accountability in the financial fitness group, people of like mind. And then usually people join the Financial Fitness Challenge from different parts of the world. We have people currently from the UK, people who live in the UK, people who live in the United States, people who live in Sweden, in different places in Libya, different places from Liberia, people from Cameroon, Zambia, Gambia, different places, so it's a great place to network and get to know yourselves. So, but today we're going to talk about bouncing back from financial setback. And then just to set the stage, okay? If you have experienced any kind of financial setback, everybody, If you have experienced any kind of financial setback, type yes in the comment section and in the chat on Zoom. If you've never experienced any financial setback in your life, type no. Everyone do that. So let me give you 5 seconds to type in the chat and the comment section on Facebook. If you have experienced financial setback in your life at all, type yes. If you haven't, type no. Okay. All right, so let me look at the responses on Zoom. Okay, so I'm seeing yes, yes, yes. 3 yeses, 1 no. Innocent hasn't experienced financial setback. Innocent, how old are you? Please type it in the comment section in the chat. How old are you this year, Innocent? Okay, so I'm checking out Facebook. I can see yes. Yes. Okay, Innocent is 47, all right, and you haven't experienced financial setback. That's wonderful. I would like to know. Fabian says, I would say I have done a lot of financial mistakes because of lack of knowledge. Okay, all right. Okay, so I can see quite a number of yeses. A lot of yeses. Okay, Ayeba says yes. Afi is asking about the early bird. Early bird expired on the 4th of January. Sorry, 4th of February. That was a couple of days ago. Helen says yes. Ogama, yes. Okay. Rotimi, yes. So there are literally yeses on Facebook, yeses on Zoom. And then those of you watching on YouTube, also type in the comment section. So I can see yeses, yeses, yeses. And of course, my own response is also yes. I have experienced financial setbacks, not once, not twice, but several times. And that's what gives me a lot of authority and credibility to tell you how you can bounce back, because I'm going to share with you how I bounced back. Okay. Now, second question. What was the nature of your financial setback? Okay. What was the nature of your financial setback? Type that in the comment section. So if it is business failure, or you were duped, or it's job loss, or your investment, you invested in something and then you lost the money, or maybe there was an accident or something, illness, type in the comment section. What was the nature of your financial setback? What happened? Okay, everybody, what happened? All right, so Ngozi also says, I have experienced financial setbacks. Yep. So it looks to me like it is a fact of life. Okay, so Ngozi says her own is she lost money. All right, she lost money and was duped. Okay. Ogenekere said investment. All right. Fabian said, I lost money trying to japa. That's a very common one. That's a very common one. So I have, in fact, a relation who lost literally all his life. And it just wasn't today, trying to go abroad, lost everything. He sold land, sold property, sold everything. He lost everything. So that seems to be common in this part of the world. Abraham says, I was duped trying to japa also. See, so that's very common. That's very common. People are being duped trying to japa. So there are people who sold their land, sold some of their choice properties in different parts of the city, in the country, because somebody said, we will do visa for you and then help you to come abroad and then get a job or something. And then they lost that money in the millions. So that's a major financial setback. So let me look at Facebook. Basil says, what's the Zoom passcode? All right, I'm going to put it right there now for you, Basil. I'm going to reply to your comment. and then you can get it from there. Just a second. Just a second, so you can see the things I'm sharing. Okay, so Basil, see the response I've given you. Aiba says his own setback was business failure. Okay, Olaniyo says I invested in production of groundnut oil. Okay. Ogama says it was wrong investment. And Argus says, I lost money from a land I bought one time ago. And that's very true. A lot of people also lose money buying land. So many times you use all your savings, all the things, money you've accumulated over the years to buy a plot of land, only to discover that that land was not really available for sale, and then that you were lied to. So the task we have tonight, okay, is how do we bounce back? And then before we go to that, so how many people are yet to bounce back from all these things you talked about? Okay, how many of you are yet to bounce back? So just type I am yet to bounce back in the comment section. So just to give me some idea in the room, type I'm yet to bounce back. And then if you have already bounced back, then type I have bounced back. So this is a coaching session, and then we really need to learn a lot from one another. Okay, so if you are yet to bounce back from your financial setback, type I am yet to bounce back. If you have bounced back, please type I have bounced back. Okay, so far beyond says I have bounced back. Okay, very good. Okay, but let's know the proportion of the room that are yet to bounce back. Okay, Basil is yet to bounce back. Okay. And then Abraham has also bounced back. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. All right. Olani says, I'm yet to fully bounce back. Keep it coming, everyone. Everyone. All right. Dr. Eli says, I lost money by ignorance of financial literacy. Yes. And Dr. Eli, that's exactly what happened to me as well. All the money I lost it because I didn't know what I was doing. Afi says not bounced back yet. All right, so we have quite a number of people. Okay, Helen says I'm yet to bounce back. So we have quite a number of people who are yet to bounce back. The same thing, Ayuba says I'm yet to bounce back. So what we're going to do right now, we are going to share our energies and then share our experiences. I would like to bring up, I've seen two people who have bounced back. So there's Far Beyond, and then there is Abraham. I would like to bring you up to just share principles, what you learned, and then how you bounced back, so that those who are yet to bounce back can hear it directly, from you. So Abraham, are you able to show your video and then come on and then share your experience, how you bounce back? Are you open to that, Abraham? Please unmute it. Very good, Abraham. So please share with us, tell us the background, what happened, and then how did you bounce back? How did you find the motivation to bounce back?
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Abraham.
Good evening, everyone. When we were introducing ourselves, I said something about trying when I was having religious slight issues with my immediate boss, and I decided to move. So then I already saved some cash with me, so I was all set to move. Then the dollar price was not even high. So I started searching on the net. Uh, I saw basically on LinkedIn. So I thought, on LinkedIn, there are not so much scam on LinkedIn. So I started following this person. I sent him message and started chatting, started talking. And he said, he now said, okay, fine, that he can get me a job in Canada. So I said, okay, how many months will I spend? How many months will this take me? So then I was ignorant. So then I didn't know anything. So when he said 3 months, so that was the first instance I should have known that this is a scam because you can't go to Canada for just 3 months. So he said 3 months. So I was since I was desperate, so I said, wow, this is a good one. So at first at first it started collecting, it collected like I think I lost like maybe 7M
Hmm.
or more than, so I didn't catch how much. And it started with like I have to pay for it was calling the names of everything you need, sha. So it was looking like a real thing,
Genuine.
like permits. So it
Hmm.
was calling
Hmm.
those names. So I already read and know and got some idea. So when it was calling those things, I was like, okay, fine, I know this, I know this, I know. So I was just paying, I was paying in bits. So sometimes he will tell me, okay, we need like 1 million to do to do something. I'll send him 1 million. He will come back and say, okay, we need to do another thing. I'll send in another maybe 1 point something. I'll send him. That's how I was just sending money. So when it was like 3 months, ah, I started like my spirit started telling me that this is a scam. So, but I didn't stop. I've already gone so far. Like then I said, I already spent like 5 to 4M. So I'm like, wow. So I just knew I was scammed. But I like, okay, let me just keep going. My wife was also telling me that this is a scam. So I just ignored everybody. So I like, no, that this is real because I wanted to leave. I was just desperate. So when I knew when he now told me again that he needed to set to some people in the embassy, so I
Hmm.
was like, this is a scam that you cannot say to anybody, this guy,
Yeah.
anybody in the embassy. So I
Hmm.
knew. So I didn't just know, but I think it was just I was just desperate to leave.
Yeah.
So in all, I think even when he now told me that he has gotten all the people, he sent me a fake job offer. At first,
Hmm.
he sent me a fake job offer. So I went on net, I checked for the company, I didn't find the company.
Hmm.
I think I checked the company that he sent, I checked it online. I think I saw one of the company in the US. So I told him that this company that you sent, I think it's in the US. He said, no, that this company is in Canada, and this, and you check very well. So I checked several times. I didn't find the company that he sent me offer. But he just keep telling me that I should not be afraid. He just keep encouraging me. So you know how these things work. So we passed that stage. So he now said, okay, all the papers are already in Nigeria, that they sent the paper to Nigeria for verification, that we needed some money also to give to some embassy officials to help us to fast track and all those things. So
Okay.
so that was then that was how I just knew that this is a scam.
All right.
So
So
uh
let me ask you at this stage, Abraham. So if there were two things I heard or two things you tell us that made this scam successful, that made these people to successfully scam you, what
yeah,
are those two things? I remember you've mentioned twice, you've mentioned the word desperation.
yes.
All right.
So
So what else?
it's not I
Well, desperate.
ignorance.
Then there was ignorance.
Ignorance. I did
Okay.
not, then I didn't know anything about
Very
this, know
good.
anything. I
And
didn't read on the net.
then number three, I want to add, you said something, from your story about your wife actually told you
Told me,
that it
yeah.
was a
He also
scam,
told me
and
it's a
then
scam, but
you didn't listen to her.
yeah, I didn't
Because you
listen
see,
to her.
why I'm mentioning that because I found some similarities with how I also fell to something. The biggest money I've lost, I lost it because I deliberately, intentionally didn't tell my wife because I felt that she would discourage me. And that's a lesson.
Exactly.
That's a
The same
lesson
thing. The
for
same
me.
thing with me.
I
Mm.
felt that she encouraged me, and I was like, "What does she know about investment?" And that's not.
Exactly.
But if I
Exactly.
had listened to her, I wouldn't have lost as much as $100,000
Yes,
of
it's
time.
true. It's true.
Okay, so let's
Mm.
quick so that I can bring far beyond. So just give us very briefly, how did you bounce back? What helped you to sort of bounce back from that setback? Just briefly, 1, 2, 3 points or so. It looks like we've lost Abraham. It looks like,
Okay, you went off. Yeah, sir.
okay. I was actually
You
thinking,
went off.
I thought you were the
Yes.
one who went off. Okay, go ahead. So, three things, just 1, 2, 3, that helped you to come back.
Okay. One, I'm a very positive person, and two, I don't really live in the past. I hardly even take pictures whenever I do things. So I don't want to remember. I don't remember my my sad moments. That's one thing about me. I don't. I put it aside I just like maybe say what will be. That's my own philosophy. I just like, okay, fine. Does that put it as that point? I'll just start again. So that's how I built myself up, and
Very
I
good.
started
Okay, so
working
that
again.
is resilience.
Over.
Okay. Thank you very much. So you mentioned resilience. All right. Fabian says he's having network issues. Okay. Ngozi, I'm particularly interested in hearing your own case, how. So thank you very much, Abraham. So Ngozi, I'm
Welcome, sir.
interested in hearing your own case. How did your financial setback happen? If you can just share with us briefly. And then we can now start talking about how to come out of it. Because I see on Facebook, so many people are still saying that they have not come out of their own financial setback. Ngozi, Ngozi, can you share are you able to share with us? You are muted. We can't hear you. Okay. We can't hear Ngozi if you can hear us. All right. Is anyone else, willing to share how your own financial setback was set up? And it's important because it's important to hear from you because my training is a coach. And I'm able to hear from you and adjust what I'm sharing to something that's very specific, to you. So anyone wants to share their own setback, how it happened before we go on, then you can raise your hand and I would ask you to unmute and share with us. All right, Aurora, yes, you can do that. Okay, just unmute. And then if you are able to show your camera, that would be wonderful, okay? If you're able to turn on your video.
Okay, sir.
Mhm.
Um,
So just
Good
brief.
evening, sir.
Mhm. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello.
We can hear
Okay,
you.
sir. My financial setback started 2023 when I ventured into forex trading.
Mhm.
Um, I um I didn't have much idea about the markets,
Mm.
so I was desperate, and um I was just buying profit accounts.
Mm.
I bought um within 3 months, I already bought like 20 pro firms.
Mm.
Like I was just depositing money, like it was crazy.
Mm.
So I lost a lot of money, and then I had to go back to factory reset, and I decided to go for knowledge. And I learned the hard way actually. But I'm still grateful because those losses has been part of what has been helping me to grow now, because it has helped me to, I have nothing to lose anymore, and I just decided to do what I need to do in order to be successful.
Very good.
Yes, sir. So that's how it happened.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing. Okay. And from your story, I hear the same themes. You said you did not know what you were doing. So it's the same thing that Abraham shared with us. There's the element of ignorance. You also use the same word that Abraham used. You were desperate. And what this can do for the rest of us and for all of us is to tell us that we are most vulnerable when we are desperate financially. You are most vulnerable to experience financial setback when you are ignorant about what you are doing, when you don't really know, you are venturing into something that you don't know. And I can tell you, this is how millions of Nigerians lost money in the crypto. When the crypto craze started, people didn't know what it was all about, and then they lost millions and millions of their life savings. Why? Because everyone else is saying this is the new thing in town and it's very, very profitable. And for people who are struggling financially, when someone tells you, oh, if you invest $1,000 today, the thing can turn into $60,000 within 2 weeks. The appeal is very irresistible. It can happen, but because it's not something you cannot control the outcome. So what that tells us is that whenever we see ourselves in a situation that we are desperate, in a situation that we are venturing into something that we don't have enough body of knowledge around, and then whenever we find ourselves in a situation where we are hiding things from our spouses and people who are significant, to us, we are getting isolated from them, we are very likely to make mistakes. Okay. Now, having set that background, let's now look at how to bounce back, because it also happened to me. I've had many setbacks, and then the worst of them was when I was leaving Shell. My intention was to put down something, a kind of investment that would bring in monthly returns while I settled my business. Monthly returns that would take care of the bills, utility, the children's education, rent, and things like that. And so that was how people introduced us to this so-called hedge fund called Nospetco. And then there was a second one called Wealth Zone. So between those, I've invested at that time an equivalent of $400,000. And that's how the money went. It was incredibly challenging because I now left Shell. As I was leaving, I had debts that weren't paid. I had debts to banks. I got into financial reversal because I bought a vehicle, brand new vehicle, Nissan Armada, and I bought it on credit to a bank. So by the time I lost that money, that was supposed to be bringing in monthly income, I had no money to pay the banks to do the monthly payment for the car. Things were very difficult, Affected rent. At some point, I couldn't pay rent, and I was owing the landlord for more than a year. Got quit notice. Paying bills became very, very difficult for me. Paying the children's school fees became very difficult. On a couple of occasions, they were sent home because I didn't pay their fees. So it was a very difficult situation for a father to be in. And then someone who has seen a very stable job, very high paying job. We had lived the life, done the summer trips, lived in very good places, and then here we were, struggling to survive. So the financial setbacks can be very real, and they can be very psychologically tasking. Okay. Sometimes it just looks like it's a fact of life that it will happen. And so if you haven't had one yet, it is coming your way. I can guarantee you that it's coming your way. And so tonight's session will still be very good to help you. For those of you trying to come out, I'm going to share what helped me. It wasn't the first time I had financial reversal. But I think it was the worst, the most difficult. It took years for me to actually bounce back, because as that was happening, I not only needed to pay back debts, I also needed to run the family. The children also needed to go to school. So it was extremely difficult. But that was where indeed my faith in God grew to levels that many of you will not understand when I say it and then when I write it. But make no mistake about it, I'm not religious, so I'm not religious. I don't know God in a religious way. I know him in a very personal way. He calls me by name, worship him as Father. We walk hand in hand. We talk every day. We discuss ideas. He talks to me as a father. It's nothing religious at all. And those of you who are close to me know that I'm not religious. But that experience brought me very, very close to God, because there were so many incredible things that happened. I don't say it in public, because when I do, the tendency is for people to make it a doctrine, which I don't want it to be a doctrine, because those are really exceptions, not the rule. Because I remember during that time, 2 or 3 times, I had gotten money alert into my bank account that I couldn't explain where it came from. I couldn't explain where. And so I don't say that because when I do, the religious people will think it is a validation for the kind of money prayers that they pray. Because God expects you to use your head, use the resources He's giving you to develop skills, to create value for people, because the reason that work exists is so that we can serve each other. So you can't just fold your arms and stay in your house and then be praying for something, money to just come into your account. But it did come to mind, and I didn't pray for it. I saw a credit. Once I was in Enugu and I saw a credit alert. I was looking for money for something. I looked for money for weeks. And that week was supposed to be the deadline. I was just somewhere in Enugu and I saw a credit alert on my phone. And I asked my bank. I called my bankers, and then the narration was so strange. It was just a combination of letters, Q, S, T, L, 19, something very totally odd and strange. So it made no sense. So I didn't know where the money came from, who sent the money. My bank did not know. So I waited for a couple of days, maybe for whoever sent it to reverse it. It never reversed. And that money was just enough to pay for what I needed to pay for at that time. I can't explain it. When you have that kind of experience, what does it tell you? So when I say it brought me closer to God, who really cares, who, in spite of the difficulties I had, the children were still able to go to school, good schools, and who, in spite of the difficulties I had, we ate food every day, who, in spite of the difficulties I had, financially, we didn't fall sick such that we had to be rushed to the hospital and then look for money for hospital. It never happened for the years. And this thing lasted this was between 2008 and 2016, like 8 years of bouncing back, from major financial reversal. So when I speak, I'm not talking theory. I'm not just giving you information. I'm giving you real life. And some of them I can't explain. There was one day too, After my meditation and my morning devotion, I sat in front of the house at the porch where I normally sit to meditate on the scripture. And then I got a call. I don't normally take my phone, keep my phone where I'm having my devotion. So, but this particular day, I had, for some reason, my phone was there, so I was reading the scriptures and I had the phone. I got this phone call. Are you Obo, Awaka Obo, and all that? And I thought it was because the scam calls were so many in those days. So he said, okay, I'm calling you from Shell, Port Harcourt, blah, blah, blah. You have some money in the system that was supposed to have been paid you. It hasn't been paid. So this morning or yesterday, my boss said we must find this man and pay him this money. This sounded like scam because as at this time, I had left Shell for about 2 years. As this was happening, I had left Shell for like 2 complete years. Shell had paid me off, paid everything that they owed me. There was nothing. And we signed papers, my whatever of leaving, disengagement from Shell. So where this now, story cut short. That call was like on a Monday. And then they said that they had the check, but the check was long. What's the terminology that they use? That the check was stale or something like that, so they needed to reactivate it. Was I in Port Harcourt to come and collect it? I said, no, I'm not in Port Harcourt. And the story cut short. They activated the check, and then it was paid like on a Wednesday, 3.4 million naira of those days from nowhere. So the point I'm making is, you don't have to be religious, but make provision for God, your creator. When you are going through things like that, make provision for his love, for his care. Don't be proud. Be humble to accept that someone created you, someone made you, and that he cares for you. He cares about you. He's revealed to us as Father, Heavenly Father. He's never revealed to you as a religious figure. God is not religious. He's not. He's God. Okay? And then you do not need any intermediary or anybody to go to him. Even when we finish tonight, if you talk to him and say, please show me yourself, he will. It doesn't matter whether you call yourself a Christian, Muslim, Hindu, atheist, or something. He made you. He's your Father, Heavenly Father. If you talk to him, he will talk to you. Okay? So make provision for that he really wants to help you. Because I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, without his help, what I went through for 8 years could never have happened. Yet through all these 8 years, I didn't fall sick, not one day. Can you imagine? Because if I did, there was no money anywhere to take care of that. All right, so let me share some ideas on bouncing back from financial setback, because a lot of us are facing financial setback and then we don't know what to do about it. So after tonight, you should be able to do it, to come out of it. So financial setback, from all the things you guys have said, can result from business failure. You set up a business and it fails. Many businesses, we are told that as many as 95% of businesses fail within the first 1 or 2 years. And then, so this is a business you've invested so much, your money, your savings, your energy putting together. And then 6 months down the line, 8 months, it fails and puts you into some serious reversal. It could be loss of investment. It could be financial scams or fraud, like some of us have shared. And then this world is never lacking of fraud. There are always fraudulent schemes going on. Even as I'm talking to you, people are being defrauded. People are submitting. You tell them to come and learn, like come to the Financial Fitness Challenge, where you talk about these things. They will not. But if somebody tells them tomorrow, oh, bring 100,000 naira, and then every week we will give you 1 million. Even as it sounds, people who are educated, who went to school, will put in that 100,000 so that they'll be getting 1 million every week, and they believe it. So some people also go into financial setback due to job loss. For some people, especially some of our people living in the West, in the Western world, divorce can be a challenge that many people never come out from. Some of you read the story last week. Okay, please, could you mute yourselves? Please mute yourself so that you don't distract us. Okay, thank you. So some of you read the very, very sad story last week of the Nigerian doctor who had a divorce, and unfortunately he unalived himself because he was supposed to, the court ruled that he should be paying something like $15,000 every month, the so-called child support. So for some people, it could be illness, family member falls ill, and it drains everybody of their finances, or the people themselves don't have money anymore. Sometimes it's bereavement, the key breadwinner in the house, tragically goes. So it could be filled expectations of different kinds, So whatever. So I have, I'm going to suggest 4 things you can do to help you come out of your financial setback. The first one is to actually learn from your mistake, because people who don't learn from their mistakes are bound to repeat those same mistakes. Please, can somebody type that in the comment section? And type it in the comment section on Facebook, in the chat. People who don't learn from their mistakes are bound to repeat the same mistakes. And then if you look around in your own life and in people around you, you see people who are making exactly the same mistakes. The mistakes they made 5 years ago, they are making it right now. Okay. A young woman ran into a man who took advantage of her 7 years ago. She almost lost her life. Now, 5 years ago, she made exactly the same mistake, ran into another character, just like the man that almost ended her life. That one also. And as I'm talking to you, she's also in another similar relationship. People never learn. People who don't learn from their mistakes are liable to repeat those mistakes. So learn from your mistakes. What did you learn? Like my lesson. I learned. So right now, I don't hide such things I want to do. With my wife, I want to do a business. I want to do something. I share with her. I want to hear her own perspective. So I might not necessarily like do what she says, but it's important that somebody holds me accountable, and so I can think. So that's one of the lessons I learned. And then one of the lessons I also learned is if it's too good to be true, if it is money, if it has to do with money and it's too good to be true, it's likely too good to be true. Learn from your mistakes. Then, like Abraham has shared with us, and also Aurora shared with us, be careful when you are desperate. You're desperate to Japan, you're desperate to move abroad. You are a very excellent candidate for financial setback. So watch it when you are desperate. Watch it also when you are playing in areas and domains that you don't have competence, without first of all sitting down to actually understand. Learn as much as you need to learn to be able to make informed decisions. Okay, now, number 2, do not dwell in the past. Do not dwell in the past. Dwelling in the past is like driving and then looking at the rear mirror. That's what people do. You're driving and then you're looking at the rear mirror. So you can almost 100% guarantee that there's going to be a crash. That's what happens when people dwell in the past. I've met people, thinking about one particular man. He's in his early 70s. Every time since I knew him, like for over 20 years right now, I mean, he was probably in his 40s or 50s when I met him. He's in his 70s right now. there's no single conversation he will not mention how people double-crossed him because he lost a job. Probably lost this job. Maybe when he was in his 30s. But every time he tells the story, like it's something that just happened the previous year. I've met a 50-something-year-old person who still blames the parents for not sending him to school. And you're 50-something years. So stop dwelling in the past, stop driving and looking at your rearview mirror because you're going to crash. The only usefulness for your past is to learn from it, what worked, what didn't work. Then you'd repeat the things that worked, and then you don't do the ones that didn't work. It is not, you don't need Einstein's brain to do that. Once you take that lesson from your past, then set a new course, okay? Set a new course. So sit down, write things down. And the question is as basic as, where do I go from here? Just take a piece of paper or your journal, blank sheet of paper in front of you. Write the question. On top of it, where do I go from here? That's a very, very important focusing question. And then brainstorm everything you need to write down, brainstorm, where do I go from here? Set a new course for your future. I once read that vehicles that go into space, that they are wrong 97% of the time, or some figure like that, some 90-something% of the time, that they are wrong in their courses. They have, therefore, something they call a gyroscope that keeps course correcting. So many times your mistakes are a signal. They are a signal that you need to course correct. They are not bad things, because if you didn't make those mistakes, you will continue in the wrong course and end up in a wrong destination. So chart a new course, and charting this new course might involve changing your environment, both your physical and then your spiritual environment, just changing it, because many times the things that made us fall are embedded in the environment, the kind of people we have around us, the kind of conversations we listen to, the kind of movies and television programs that we watch. All those things contribute. The kind of relationships you have, all those things contributed to your fall. So many times charting a new course would involve changing a lot of things. It could mean cutting off certain relationships, because not every relationship that is, some relationships brought you to where you are. And so if you're charting a new course, you've got to cut off those relationships. It's not everybody that needs to be your friend. And it's not everybody that calls themselves your friend that's actually helping your course. All right, so change that environment, change the things you watch, the TV. Sometimes, I know Nigerians don't like me when I say that, but you don't need a TV to succeed in life at all. There's no TV. It's my house. Then the other place, my house, there's no TV. You won't find TV in my house, but you'll find books. Setting a new course will involve, all right, this is where I want to go from here. I want to start a new business. I want to look for a job, or I want to learn trading skills, whatever. Then you decide, all right, what books will help me? What relationships, what masterminds, what seminars, what organizations can help me to learn these skills? Because setting a new course might involve learning a new set of skills to run a business, to invest, to trade. Okay, that's the second one. It's ABC. The third thing is start from what you have. Stop looking for big money to start whatever you need to start. My mentor told me, if you have capital when you want to start, then he said, buy and sell. Buy and sell. He said, if you don't have capital, then sell and buy. But by all means, start. There's no excuse. If you have, somebody can type that in the comment section so that you will remember. If you have capital, buy and sell. If you don't have capital, sell and buy. So many times, starting from what you have, all you have might just be a skill, you might have experience, you might have some idle asset, you might have something. But hey, the most important skill for coming out of financial setback is selling. You can sell your way out of any financial problem. Type that in the comment section. You can sell your way out of any financial difficulty. You are just one sale away from coming out of a financial crisis. Type that again. I like this things being captured in the comment section. You are one sale, one major sale away from coming out of financial crisis. Can you imagine your situation right now? For instance, Ngozi or any of you. Can you imagine if you found somebody who wants to sell his house because he wants to move abroad, and he tells you, this house I want to sell it for 100 million. And you said to this person, I will sell your house. Out of this 100 million, what commission will you give me? The man says, if you sell it for 100 million, I'll give you 5%. In other words, I'll give you 5 million. Then you say to the person, anything else I sell on top of this house, I'm going to keep. And then the person says, yeah, anything, and then you have an agreement. And then you go ahead and sell this house for 140 million. Do you know you've solved your money problems immediately? Because you're going to get that 40 on top of it, and then the 5 million commission, 45 million, and you're set up. That's why my mentor said, if you don't have sell and buy, sell. And you don't have to be the person. Tell somebody, I can sell your house, or you meet someone who is socially exposed like myself. For instance, if you tell me that if you sell, I have lots of products and digital programs, online, and then you do affiliate. So the product is 10,000, and then I have an affiliate agreement with you, and I'm willing to give you 50% or even 60% if you sell like 1,000 of those things. So you sell something, 1,000 of them, that's like 10 million, and you're keeping 50%, that's 5 million. So you don't have to have capital to start. So start from what you have. And then my mentor also taught me something he called the Shamgar principle. Do what you can with what you have where you are. All right, type that somebody. Do what you can with what you have where you are. That's number 3. So start something. Don't wait. Every day, do your praying, a devotion, do the plan for the day, and move out. When you are facing financial reversal, by all means, don't lock yourself inside a house and just do nothing, because you need to protect your mind. Your mind is your most important asset for coming back. So you need to protect it from depression. And then there's no way to get depressed so easily than every day you lock up yourself in your dark house, in your dark room. There's no light, there's no whatever. You lock up yourself there, mourning. No, you need this. You need the sunlight. You need to meet people. You need to engage with life, because you just never know. When I tell you, every time I tell you to keep showing up, I really mean it. I really mean it. You just keep showing up. Wake up every day, go out, show up in the world. And then if you get beaten again and then nothing, next day, dust yourself, iron your clothes, get out again. By all means, do something, keep engaged. And then finally, as you do this, and surround yourself with positivity. There are so many things online, podcasts online, that you can listen to on a daily basis. Many mornings when you see me jogging, you see me with an ear pod or something, or you see me with a phone. I'm listening. I'm listening to very inspiring messages. So keep yourself inspired, keep yourself surrounded with positivity, and you will come back one day. You just never know. Like I keep telling you, you just never know. One day, everything will change. It might take a year, it might take 6 months, or in my case, it might take 8 years. But I tell you, after those 8 years, just one opportunity cleaned up all the challenges. That's the good news, about coming back from financial setback. There was a character in history called Job. Job lost everything, and we don't know how many years he was in that situation. Lost everything, lost family, lost assets, lost business, lost even his physical health. We don't know how many years. But a lot of people talk about Job, but they forget to talk about how Job ended. At the end of the whole ordeal, he was 1,000 times wealthier, better, healthier, had children who were reputed to be the most good-looking children in the world after this. So there is hope. Don't let anyone tell you that because you are 54 and then you had a financial setback, that is the end of it. That person is kidding. The good news is that just one good opportunity will clean up all those 8 years of suffering, of embarrassment, and things like that. Because as I was coming out of it, that was now when I got this opportunity to work with Stanford University. Good God. Do you know what it means? To work with Stanford University, the best of the best in the world, with the Stanford Graduate School of Business in their Stanford Seed program. That was after all that one opportunity, working with the best university in the world. And then that happened for 6 years. So I'm not telling you theory, okay? I'm not telling you theory. So in summary, can bounce back, learn from whatever the past was, learn from those mistakes. What worked, what didn't work, the things that worked, repeat, play them forward. The things that didn't work, don't. Then number 2, chart a fresh path. Chart a fresh path for yourself. Don't worry about people's opinions and what people are thinking about you and all that, because I go to my farm and then people are, look at this man, eggshell staff. Somebody who also worked with with the Stanford University, someone who is teaching at Lagos Business School. Look at him, he's farming, he's carrying cassava, he's carrying yam. Don't let those things, bother you. People will talk regardless, but what is important is that you are moving forward. Then, as that is happening, don't complain. Use what you have to do what you can where you are. Don't go there looking for big money or looking for big connections. Look at the relationships you already have. In fact, I want to say that before I round off, the importance of relationships. Please build very good relationships. Build it now. Because when you have financial reversal, that is when you will realize that indeed relationship is bigger than money. The relationships that we had, I must tell you, were very helpful. Very helpful. In fact, it was a relationship that created the opportunity to start lecturing at Lagos Business School during that time. It was that same relationship, which we still have till today, with that woman. It was that same relationship that introduced me to the opportunity with Stanford University. It was that same relationship that introduced me to the opportunity with China Europe International Business School, because she saw these things, she was seeing them, and because of where she was, and why don't you try this? Why don't you apply for this? Why don't you do this? I would never never have known about the Stanford University opportunity. I would never have known about Lagos Business School, going to lecture in Lagos Business School. They still call me to teach there as an adjunct faculty, if not for relationship. Don't play with relationship. My people say that he who has relationship is richer than he who has money. It's very true. It's relationships. I remember 3 ladies. One of them, Auntie Pat, God bless her memory. She's late. These people on their own, I didn't ask them, I didn't beg them, but on their own, separately, at separate times, they wrote checks, post-dated checks in those days, and gave me. One of them wrote post-dated checks for, I believe it was 6 months. Another person did 3 months or something like that, gave me. They said, oh boy, we know this is a very difficult time for you and the family, so keep this check. So at the particular date every month, I went to cash those checks. I didn't ask them. But if you don't have that kind of relationship, I think coming out of financial reversal will be very difficult for you. Please don't stop looking for money. Start building good relationship, empowering relationships. And then very good relationships like that are not the take and take and take entitlement sort of thing. You've got to be, it's a give and take kind of a thing. So you've got to be, if you really want to build relationship, you have to be the kind of person that other people too can relate to, that can do the same thing for other people that these people did for me. Okay. Your aha moments. Okay. Any questions? Have you gotten value from tonight? I need to know. And then if you have a question, you can raise your hand on Zoom or you can type it on Facebook. And then as we take the questions, I also want to hear your aha moments. Malik says, relationships are bigger than money. Yep, I wholeheartedly concur with you, sir. Absolutely. I look for relationships first before I look for money. Okay. And Zuka says, life moves at the speed of a relationship. Fantastic. Yeah, very, very true. Okay. Zuka also says you're one sale away coming out of any financial difficulty. Malik also says, do what you can with what you have where you are. All right. Isaiah says on Facebook, he who has relationships is richer than he who has money. Very, very true. Okay, Msute says great value. I'm glad to hear that. All right. What are your aha moments? What are your aha moments? Quickly type it. And yes, thank you, Malik. Malik says incredible value. Fantastic. Okay. So Kewe says build quality relationships. The same thing Olani is saying, build relationships. I really would want you to do that. Okay. And as we step into 2025, make it a major goal to build empowering relationships. And then we are in the financial fitness challenge right now. So there are a couple of you there, about 40 something of you there. Build relationships, because the relationships you build, your people of like minds, seeking the same thing, you can actually uplift each other. Relationships that can help you keep you accountable. There's hardly any country I will go in Africa today, or most states in the United States, that I will be stranded. No place. Because my work with Stanford, we worked with at least if we count the Kenya, the Nairobi office, the Accra office, and all that, we probably covered up to 30 countries in Africa. There's no place I step into Africa right now that if I need, I say, someone to pick me up at the airport or something, someone to drive me around, I have them. Botswana, I have so many. Namibia, I have them. If they hear I'm stepping into Namibia, I have a crew in Namibia that will be struggling. Oh, okay, we'll come to this one, will say, I'll come and pick you. This one will say, I'll come and pick you. Botswana, so many of them. Don't even talk about Ghana, which is like my second home. Same thing in Sierra Leone. Same thing in Senegal. If I go to Senegal today, I have people who are waiting, who will be struggling to come and pick me from there. So that thing is richer. It's richer than money. Relationship is richer than money. And you live a better, more robust, comfortable life. You can imagine that. So I don't have the money, for instance, for a private jet, but if I land in Botswana today, people will struggle. In fact, people in the airport will be like, who is this man? Who is this man coming there? So I don't have the money, but I have relationships. Okay. All right, let me read a few more. Okay. Aha moment, you can always bounce back, shut the noise, and then train yourself. Okay, good. No TV reads. No TV, read books. Absolutely. All right. Chibundu says it's never too late to start all over. My friend who was a drug addict started learning welding skills in the late 30s. Today he's established. If you fail, start over again. Chibundo, thank you so much. What a fantastic story. What a fantastic story. You know, recovering from drug addiction is not an easy thing. Fabian says, I was hoping for analysis coaching today based on the previous person. All right, we can do that. No, we can do that today. I'll do that right now, and then we can. Yeah, Malik reminds me that I also have in the Gambia. Absolutely. Zuka says, thank you, sir. It marvels me how you join these things together. You are not just teaching us to be financially literate, but also teaching us to have value in life and looking at every aspect of our life, spirituality and physically. Thank you. Thank you very much. Lovely. Okay, so what will happen? Let me bring up what Far Beyond was saying. Today, I gave us a quiz to help you learn a little bit more about the stock market. So let me give you the answers and then we can close. And during the financial fitness challenge, this is also what we're going to be doing. You need to have the ability to read this data. You need to have the ability to read this information in order to make money. All right, so let me share that Far Beyond, and I'll put to your request. Okay, so this was what I shared on Facebook, and I asked you a couple of questions, including this is Presco. And then many of you remember I asked you to buy Presco. Some of you who did bought last year when Presco was like 400 and something Naira, which is also when I bought. In fact, I'm happy to inform you today that Presco has crossed the 700 Naira level. So if you bought when I told you to buy, your portfolio will be showing 40 something, about 40% right now, 40% just within a month and 2 weeks. So now the information that you have here, I asked you for the bid size. So this is the bid size. And this information is important. So what you see in the green is the ask. The ask represents the people who are selling, who want to sell, all right? Or the size of the sales of the stocks of people, want to sell. So you have 119,654. And then you have the bid size. That is the people who want to buy. 3 million. What is this telling you? This is such a very important information. It's just telling you people are not willing to sell. People are not selling. There's not enough to go around. People are not willing to sell. Can you imagine 3 million? People want to buy 3 million, but what is only available to sell is 119,000. So meaning you can't find it to buy. And that's why the stock price, as at that time, was not moving. So this number you see here, this 685, is the current price of a stock. That's what the current price was at the time. Now, anytime you see the bid size, this large, and then the ask size, this very, very small. It's just saying that the supply is not enough. There's far too much demand. This is like if you divide 3 million by 119, that's probably like 30 times or something like that. So the demand is 30 times the supply. That's a very, very, very strong situation. Now, why is it like that? The background is Presco came up with a very incredible, fantastic result. So people who have it are hoarding it. They don't want to sell it because they want to be part of the dividends. That's one. Then again, because Presco showed very, very strong financials, the prices are going up. I will not be very surprised if in the next 1 month, you can come back and check this. I won't be surprised if in the next 1 month, Presco goes to 1,500 naira. And I won't be surprised if in 5 years, Presco is going for 7,000 naira. So these people who own Presco know it, and they don't want to part with it. So the other question I asked you was, who do you think was in control? The sellers were in control. The sellers are in control. They don't want to bring it. Now, these few people who want to sell are now saying, buyers, we don't want to sell to you. But if we will sell this little amount, this 119 that you can see here, that's the one in the green circle. If we must sell that, we will not sell it to you at 685. So what are they demanding? If you come down here, you will see top offers. They are saying, if I must sell, this person is selling 200. He said, look, I can sell you 200, buyer, but I'm not going to sell you 200 at 685. I'm going to sell you only 200 of my shares, and I'm going to sell it at 713 naira 40 kobo. So you need to understand, that's why where you see top offers. So these are people who want to sell. So what you see here, like this quantity you see here, if you total them, it will come up to, not all of them are showing here, but if you total them, it will come up to the ask size. Now, the buyers are saying, seller, we will give you 600, and we can give you up to 688 naira 50 kobo. That's what we are proposing. And the sellers are saying, no, we won't sell at your top bid. This is the lowest we can accept. So what happened at the end of it, I asked you who was in control of the market. So it was the sellers, because at the end of it, the price went up. The price went up, and then they were able to sell a few at 700 and something naira today. So that's how you interpret the market. This is why when you are buying, you don't always have to buy at this market price. You check what is going on between the bid and ask. All right, so I hope that has helped you far beyond. But in the Financial Fitness Challenge, we do a lot more about that. Okay. All right, so this is where we are going to draw the curtain tonight. We are going to start again on Monday because we are not going to have weekends now. I told you I'm spending the weekends more with my family, and also something new that I'm cooking, that will be out in a little while. That will also benefit all of you. All right, so thank you for spending this time. And whatever happens as you go into this weekend, keep showing up. And then for those of you in the Financial Fitness Challenge, we are going to have our second meeting on Sunday, same time. You are going to get the Zoom information tomorrow. You get the Zoom information tomorrow. And then we're also going to set intentions tomorrow. You'll get that worksheet tomorrow. And I'll see you on Sunday. For the rest of us, I'll see you exactly the same time on Monday to Friday. And whatever happens, keep showing up because you have no idea what's coming your way next. and I'll see you Monday. Good night and have a wonderful weekend.